As this week's assignment for the master's program of performance and sports science in King's College University, we have to make a program design for a handball player, specifically a left wing handball player. First of all, I would like to talk about the handball characteristics as general. You have to divide that into biomechanics, requires strength types, and energy systems. In the biomechanics, you would see that the handball players have to run with and without the ball, and that means acceleration, stoppage, change of direction. Also, you also have to make throws with the ball while running, while walking, standing, make some pass or try to throw to the to the goalkeeper. And also it's include all jumping that it has to do to throw, to defend, to block. That means that the required strength types will be explosive strength, dynamic maximum strength, and strength endurance. Okay, which is completely related to the energy systems because handball is an non-cyclic non-cyclic sport. That means that it's not always at the same pace. You run, stop, run again, and burst high speeds and burst high amounts of energy. And that it is the ATP-PC, which is the predominant energy system in handball, which is 40 to 50%, and anaerobic lactic system it's 30 to 35%, and aerobic system is 15 to 25%. The left wing characteristics specifically would be that he and his physical demands as approximately cover per match would be 2300 to 3000 meters per match, and it's around 15 to 25 sprints. Also, is a higher movement velocity than other positions because he's at the front, you may say. And the movement patterns that left wing will have is deep runs, rhythm changes because he needs to make dribbling and accelerate and stop and try to make throws to score. Also deep jumps and lateral movements. The predominant technical actions, it has a narrow angle throws, receptions while moving, reception standing, unmarking, and crosses. You also have to make fast transitions. So for this week, this athlete profile is Alex Johnson, is a left wing, 24 years, 85 kilograms, and 185 meters. Strength test, he did 140 on his back squat, deadlift 120, bench press 110, the weight pull up, it's body weight plus 50, and the power clean 100. And the power test with counter movement jump 35, counter movement jump with arm swing, it's 55 centimeters, and broad jump is 2 meters and 40 centimeters. Agility test, 300-yard shuttle, a T-test time, shoulder and rotator test, dumbbell shoulder press is 28 kilograms, the dumbbell external rotation and knee, it's 6 kilograms. On that, you have to make a weakness identification for Alex Johnson, and this would be my analysis for this particular player. On the lower body type analysis, the back squat, which is 140 against versus the deadlift, which is 120, it's a 39.3 deficit in posterior change development because the target deadlift would be 168, which is 120% of the back squat. That was that was explained in the class, and it's also part of the lecture in this week. The upper body analysis is bench press, which I will assume is close grip bench press because it doesn't say anywhere. Bench press is 110 kilograms against weight pull up, which is body weight plus 50. It's 135 kilograms. The dumbbell shoulder press is 28 kilograms. It should be around 40. External rotation on knee is 6 kilograms. Should be around 11 kilograms. 8 times. So lower body against upper body ratio, the back squat, which we said is 140 against bench press 110, is a 29.9% deficit based on the Poliking table 2.5, chapter 2. The target bench press would be 156, is the 112% of back squat. And you have to think about critical rotator cuff weakness related to the deltoid strength also. So when you identify that, you can make a summary of weaknesses. It's a posterior chain development weakness, a rotator cuff weakness is pressing pull strength. There's a difference on that. You have shoulder mobility restrictions, deltoid weaknesses, and upper and lower body ratio, which is underneath the score that's supposed to be. So how would I distribute the plan for this athlete and his weekly training schedule? It was explained to us, it was showed that the athlete has team skills training Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I was thinking, and Saturday is the game. Sunday, there will be a rest day. So starting from Saturday, which is the game day, I would think that the next day after the game, you will have to rest and do some active recovery, some light movement, some mental recovery, spare time. And on Monday, you go back to training. And that day, you can do, and that's how I think it's best, which is doing maximal effort lower body, heavy squats and deadlifts, and dynamic effort upper body, which is full accessory work. On the afternoon, he would have his technical skills, or at least I think that's the best split that you can make. Hopefully it's 8 hours difference, 6 to 8 hours difference. And on Tuesday, you have the team training in the morning, technical development, skill development, recovery protocols in the afternoon, active mobility, recovery work. On Wednesday, you have the maximal effort upper, because that would allow you to recover your lower extremity better for the game day on Saturday. So that's why I put it this way, that maximal effort upper body would be on Wednesday. That give you 40 more, almost 72 hours recovery. So Wednesday in the mornings, maximal effort upper and dynamic effort lower. Of course, accessory work. On the afternoon is team training, positioning specific, tactical overview, whatever. Thursday is team training, game simulation, full practice, whatever the coach decide for the team. And PM in the afternoon will be recovery sessions. Friday you rest, or at least I think that the best thing that the athlete can do is rest, as a soft tissue massage or sleep maximization, also recovery for that thing. And Saturday you do a dynamic warm-up preparation, activation exercises, game, And then you have to do some recovery protocols, cool down, refueling, with enough carbohydrates, enough protein, enough electrolytes to recover everything that you lose on again. So the exercise selection that I did for weeks 1 and 2, on Monday maximal effort lower and dynamic effort upper, would be a RDL from 2 inch deficit on a 5 set, 4-3-3-2-2 on a tempo, 2 seconds eccentric, no one isometric, and 1 concentric, and the rest of 240 seconds. And that would give you maximal effort on lower. And thinking about hamstrings and glutes, because that's part of the posterior chain that the athlete has a weakness on. Then you go, then you pass to a dynamic effort upper. So that would give enough recovery time for the lower body to do the other exercises that I planned for that day. So he would do bench press with bands in around 65%, 10 times. Set 1 and set 2, he would increase the reps, lowering the intensity 60%, and then 55% times 15 reps, resting 120 seconds. You start diminishing the rest time to increase the intensity also. Then you do a superset on C1 and C2 would be seated good mornings, 3 to 8 on the tempo. These 2 weeks would be focused on eccentric work, so everything would be much more eccentric. So it's 10-second rest between C1 and C2, seated good mornings for the lower back, erector spinae muscles, and the barbell hip thrust to enhance glute activation and glute strength development, basically. And between sets, you rest 2 minutes. You would want to do also accessory work for the upper body, and that would be D1 and D2 superset on a dumbbell shoulder press, three sets, 10 repetitions. Again, this you would do on an eccentric fashion, resting 10 seconds, then going to the face pulls. On this one, you do it concentric as usual, and you will increase the repetitions, diminishing the sets. For all the accessory works for single joint, I would suggest, and I will put that the dumbbell sideline external rotations, 2 sets, 15 times on a concentric fashion. It's enough. You have to be increasing the weight, starting from the one that he already has, which is very low. Then you work on the core, doing some front plank for basically the frontal plane, and then pile of isometrics to work on all the rotator muscles for the core. And that's 2 times 30 seconds, resting 60 seconds each time. And also we will start doing some neck exercises because of the nature of the sport. He may have a concussion, he may have something like that, and studied on this week's manual, which was very surprising for me, that neck work really helped on upper body development. On Wednesday of those 2 weeks, you will have the maximal effort upper and dynamic effort lower. You will start with inclined bench press at 45 degrees. You will use the same sets as Monday, same tempo, same rest. As I said, these 2 weeks would be focused on concentric. After doing the maximal effort upper, you will go to dynamic effort lower, which is the superset of box squat, approximately 75% of weight, and step jumps that you will do 4 times 9 and 4 times 10, the step jumps. Okay, you'll rest 10 seconds between exercises and 180 seconds each time you finish each set. You will move then to a dynamic effort for the upper body. And that would be C1 and C2. That's the dumbbell shoulder press, 4 times 10, 10 repetitions, and this you would do eccentric fashion also, and you will do a JM press that would help you out to work out on the triceps, and you would rest 2 minutes. You would want to do some other superset, thinking about the glutes, which is the main concern of this athlete because of his imbalances of the posterior chain. So I would suggest and make him do some kettlebell swings, 3 sets 10 times, rest 10 seconds, and then single leg bounce, because it's specific. It's much more specific to the nature of the sports. It can relate more to the nature of the sport that he does. So 3 sets 10 times each leg, rest 90 seconds. And for the all other accessory work, you have a banded external rotation and band pull aparts 3 times, 3 sets 15 times, 2 sets 15 times. That you rest 60 seconds, and you do a suitcase carry 2 times, 20 steps each side, rest 60 seconds, and you do some neckband isometrics, which would be 1 set of 20 seconds each side of the head. So you will put the band in each side of the head. So you have to do movement towards the front, back, right, left. For weeks 3 and 4, you have to make some variations on the workout, and that's why I move to a much more isometric pattern in this week. You will do basically the same maximal effort. It will be the same maximal effort on Monday, just that on this time you take 1 second going down and 3 seconds on isometrics. And on the B, which would be the first dynamic effort for the upper body, you do a speed floor press at 65%, 10 times. Then 60, 12, 55, 15. You move to a superset because you need to do some dynamic effort on the lower body after maximal effort. So you do a superset, again, seated good mornings, barbell hip thrust, but this with isometric component, as the same as D1 and D2. The other accessory work keeps on. Basically, you just increase 5 seconds on the planks and 5 repetitions on the neck extension and neck flexion. On Wednesday, the maximal effort upper and dynamic effort lower, you do basically, as I said, is the same as week 1 and 2, but with isometric component. And the only thing that I change here is on the dynamic effort lowered. I do hurdle hops after the box squat for sets of 10, resting 10 seconds after the box squat, because you would want to do some type of plyometric after putting some strength on the muscles to develop that type of reaction. And D1 and D2, kettlebell swings, lateral bounce, basically it's the same. And on the accessory work, I varied these things with prone YTW and wall slides. As I put it there, is 3 sets, 6 times for the prone YTW, and 2 sets 15 repetitions for wall slides. On this one, you would do farmer walk, whole farmer walk, 2 times 20 steps, rest 60 seconds, and the neck band isometric, you increase 5 seconds. For weeks 5 and 6, after doing eccentric isometric, you think that you would do best on concentric. So that would allow the athlete to cover the whole 3 parts of the movement, and strength whole 3 parts of the movement. That's why I divided in those 3 categories for those 2 week periods. But here now I will do a sumo deadlift instead of the Romanian deadlift that we were doing. I put it in terms of sets because, as explained in the lecture of this the class that Professor Baviers gave, sometimes the repetition maximum varies, depends on the week and depends on how you sleep or not. So it's better to know that 4 sets, it's equivalent to X amount of percentage of that day. So that's why I put it just in that way and didn't put any RM percentages. And this one you would do 4, 3, 3, 2, 2 on a tempo 1, 0 explosive. The concentric part would be as fast as you can. On the dynamic effort upper, you would do explosive push-up with bands, 10 repetitions, and then 12 repetitions, and then 15 repetitions, resting 120 seconds. For the dynamic effort lower, you do the seated good mornings, 3 sets, 8 times. This one, 2 second eccentric, and as fast as you can concentric. You move then to 1.5 hip thrust, 3 sets, 12 times, 1 second, no isometric hold, and 1 second concentric. You would move to the superset for the upper body, and that is the dumbbell shoulder press, 3 sets, 10 times, 1 second, as fast as you can concentric. And you here I change to landmine pulls because I find it's easier to pull as fast as you can with the landmine. So there will be 2 sets, 15 times, 1 second, and as fast as you can on the concentric. For the whole accessory work and prevention, I would do some Cuban press, 2 times 15, front plank and pile of isometrics. You increase to 45 seconds, and the neck extension and neck flexion, you increase to 20 repetitions, 2 times, 2 sets. And on Wednesday of that week, you will do on the maximal effort upper. I think that a pin press 3 inches from chest would work very well, because it would work on the last part of the concentric movement. So I do the same thing, and it's easier to get the fastest movement on the concentric from the 3 inch from chest pin press. Then you do B1 and B2 superset for dynamic effort lower, banded box squat, 60% plus bands. The bands doesn't have to be too with too much resistance, just enough. 4 sets, 9 times on a tempo as the same as one concentric, and as fast as you can on the eccentric. That's why you use bands here, is because that allowed you to do the explosive movement with a barbell on your shoulders. Then you do step jumps. That would be the kind of plyometric exercise after high strength. That would allow you to get a better reaction time. And it's 3 times, 3 sets, 12 repetitions. I'm sorry, 4 sets, 10 repetitions, and the rest you'll rest 180 seconds. The superset for the upper body, you need to do some dynamic effort for the upper body also. That would be the dumbbell shoulder press, 3 times 12 on a 2 eccentric, and as fast as you can concentric. JM press, you come back again to the JM press, and that would be 3 times 12, 1, and as fast as you can concentric. The dumbbell, the D and D1 and D2 superset kettlebell wings, 3 times 3 sets of 20, and single leg bounce, 3 sets, 15 leg bounce each leg. For the other accessory work that you need to do, I think that prone T raises with dumbbell work pretty well. The Turkish get-ups with kettlebell work very well. I'm sorry, I didn't say that. After the prone T raises with dumbbell, you do the cable internal rotation. That is that 2 sets for 15 repetitions. Turkish get-ups with kettlebell, you do 1 set of 10 times, of 10 repetitions. And the neck band isometrics, you would include, I put 300 seconds, but that's a mistake. It's 1 set of 30 seconds each side. And basically with that, I conclude the assignment for this week, and this is the program selection and prioritization that I think will work better for this athlete. Thank you so much for the time and the listening.